Hey, do you want to know how to get out of having to pay your deductible for an insurance claim for a roof replacement? We just had a homeowner ask us if we could arrange things with her insurance company to help her get out of having to pay her deductible for a roof replacement that she had with an insurance claim. Well, there are 3 proven ways to get out of paying your deductible, and that's what I'm going to tell you about right now. The first way that you can get out of paying your deductible is don't file a claim. There's actually a lot of situations where filing a claim right now or filing a claim at all isn't in your best interest. I mean, it could be that you don't actually have any damage on your roof. Maybe the roofer just is mistaken. Maybe the roofer doesn't know how to truly identify hail damage. Or it could be that you don't have enough damage on your roof. Insurance companies want to see a certain number of hail bruises in a 10-foot by 10-foot area on every facet of your roof to approve a claim. And if you don't have that, you might get either a denied claim or you might end up with a partially approved claim. That's never a good situation for you. So before you even file a claim, read your policy, make sure that you understand what it says. If you don't understand what it says, ask your insurance agent to help clarify anything for you that you don't understand. And then talk to a few different roofers and get multiple opinions about whether or not you even really need to file a claim. Now, the next way that you can kind of get out of having to pay your deductible is by using money that's in the claim for non-roof related item and using that to cover the cost of your deductible. And here's what I mean by that. So let's say that your insurance claim includes the replacement of the gutters, but either your gutters aren't really damaged that badly or you just decide that you don't want to replace the gutters. The insurance claim is going to have money in it to pay for that. And if you've got replacement cost coverage as opposed to actual cash value coverage, they will have sent you an amount of money minus the depreciation to pay initially for the replacement of your gutters. So if you decide that you don't want to replace your gutters, then whatever that amount is that they've sent you, if you're not going to replace your gutters, then you're going to end up being able to keep that money. And then that's going to help offset your deductible. But there are some practical things and maybe even some ethical things that you need to think through before you do something like that. Here's the practical thing. So if you have replacement cost coverage and they include something in the claim that you don't want to replace, they will have sent you upfront money for that. That's called the ACV money. And let's say the gutters, let's say the total is like $2,000 to replace your gutters, and they've sent you $1,200 to get you started on it. So you're going to take that $1,200 and you're going to keep that. But if the insurance company doesn't receive any kind of proof that you replaced your gutters, then that additional $800 that they were going to send you when the job was done, they're going to keep that. Okay, so you're forfeiting the depreciation money of, in this example, $800. The $1,200 that you kept, if you have another claim in the future, and let's say you get hail damage again, and now your gutters really are banged up and you want to replace them, well, now they're going to come to you and they're going to say, well, we gave you $1,200 to replace your gutters last time, and you didn't do it, therefore we're going to withhold that $1,200 from any of your future claims. So one way or another, if you have a future claim, you're going to lose out on that $1,200. So that's the practical implication. So the ethical implications of that are just going to be whether or not you're comfortable from a conscience standpoint of taking that money that they've given you to do something else with and use it to help you not have to come out of pocket for your deductible. Now, there's a third way that you can get out of paying the deductible for an insurance claim that you have for a roof replacement. Now, I told you about that homeowner at the beginning of this video who asked us to arrange things with her insurance company to help her get out of paying her deductible. This is what she was asking us to do. you can ask your roofer to give you an invoice that reflects a price that's more than what the roofer is actually charging you. That way, your insurance company sends you more money than you're actually supposed to get, and more than you're supposed to pay your roofer. But guess what? This is illegal in most states. And even in the states where it's not illegal, it's still insurance fraud. So if you do this, or if your roofer suggests that you do it together and you guys agree to do that, you're both committing a crime. So let's say you've got a claim for $20,000 to replace your roof. And let's say your deductible is $2,000 and your roofer has told you that he's going to pay that deductible, or they like to use the word waive the deductible. So to make all this work out for you, the roofer then creates an invoice for $20,000 and either sends that to your insurance company or gives it to you to send to your insurance company. So you've got this invoice that is sent to the insurance company for $20,000, but since the roofer has agreed to waive your deductible, actually he's just paying your deductible, then the amount that he's going to collect from you is only $18,000. And that's where the insurance fraud comes in, because you, in agreement with your roofer, have represented to the insurance company that the roof costs $20,000 when in fact it only cost you $18,000. Now here are some ways that the roofer is going to propose it to you, because the roofer most likely isn't going to come to you and say, hey, I've got an idea, let's commit insurance fraud together. No, so what he's going to do is he's going to come to you and he's going to offer this as an advertising bonus or a sign bonus, which means that if you let him put a sign in your yard, then he's going to give you a fee or a bonus or a payback or a kickback, whatever they want to call it, for putting that sign in your yard. Another way that a roofer might offer you some money to help you pay your own deductible is by offering you what's called maybe a referral bonus or something like that. So in exchange for you giving him names and phone numbers of some of your friends or coworkers or neighbors, he might then offer to give you some money in exchange for those names. Now, he may not even ever call those names, but that's his way of kind of covering his tracks. So you've given him some names, and then he's giving you money for those names. Another way that the roofer might bring this up to you is he might just come right out and offer to pay your deductible, counting on the fact that you don't know that that's illegal, or you just don't even care that that's illegal. He might just come right up and say, oh yeah, you're going to get a totally free roof out of this. You're not even going to have to pay your deductible. We're going to take care of paying your deductible. But here's the problem with using a roofer who is offering to pay or waive your deductible. First of all, like I said, it's against the law. So do you really want to use a roofer who's willing to break the law just to get your job? Next, if a roofer is voluntarily giving up that amount of profit to pay your deductible, how is he going to stay in business? Well, he's going to stay in business by making up those costs somewhere else on your job. Maybe he's going to use lower quality materials. Now, that's actually a thing. So if you've agreed to pay more for upgraded shingles, how are you going to know if he actually installed the upgraded shingles or not? We've seen that happen before. Regardless of how he does it, it's guaranteed that you're going to end up with a lower quality roof if you use a roofer who's giving up all that profit by paying your deductible on your job. Nobody can give up $1,000 or $2,000 or more than that on every job and actually stay in business. It's just not a sustainable model. So what's the bottom line? Well, the bottom line is that if you're going to file a claim for damage to your home, you have to pay your own deductible. Your contractor can't do it. Don't ask him to do it. And if he brings it up and suggests that to you, just tell him no. So even if it's not illegal in your state, remember, it's still insurance fraud. So don't put yourself and your contractor in that awkward and unethical position.